You know, we're often told that asking for help is some kind of weakness. But what if that idea, that need to do everything by yourself, is the very thing standing between you and your biggest dreams? We're about to explore that exact idea through a really powerful story.
So let's just start with a big question right out of the gate. Is your own determination to do it all actually holding you back? We're going to unpack this whole idea through the story of a young carpenter.
At the very heart of this problem is what we can call the alone mentality. It's that voice in your head, that nagging belief that you have to prove your worth by shouldering every single burden. Let's see how this plays out for our guy, a young carpenter named David.
All right, so our story begins with what I like to call the dreamer's burden. We're starting out in a small village, a really beautiful place, but also one with some huge challenges for a young man with big ambitions. So this is David. He's just 23 years old, and he's taken over his late father's workshop. He's got the skills, for sure, but man, it is a constant struggle. He's kind of haunted by his father's legacy, but he's dreaming of building something so much bigger. And look at this. This slide just perfectly captures the huge gap between his dream and his day-to-day reality. On one side, you've got this vision of a thriving furniture store, a place people would travel to. And on the other, well, the truth is pretty grim. A leaky roof, customers haggling over every penny, and barely enough money to eat. And you know how it is. Big dreams tend to attract small minds. The villagers, they mocked him. And their words, they really cut deep. But instead of discouraging him, all that doubt just made him more determined to prove them all wrong, all by himself. So, this brings us to the next part of his journey, what we're calling the wall of reality. This is where David's fierce, go-it-alone attitude is about to get tested in a way he never, ever expected.
And then, boom, an opportunity just seems to fall right out of the sky. A businessman from the city, super impressed with David's work, places a massive order, 10 dining tables. This is it. This is the big break he has been waiting for his entire life.
But of course, there's a catch. The deadline is just insane. Only 1 month. And to make it worse, he has no money for the high-quality wood he needs to even get started. The pressure is just immense.
And this is where you just feel for the guy. Driven by that fierce need to succeed on his own, David makes an absolutely heartbreaking choice. He sells the last meaningful thing he has from his father, a beautiful gold watch, just to buy the lumber. He's sacrificing a piece of his past for a shot at his future. And the cost of that choice is just brutal. He throws himself into the work. I mean, we're talking day and night, no breaks, skipping meals, barely any sleep. His hands are cracked and bleeding. He's ignoring everyone who's telling him to slow down. He is literally breaking himself to meet this deadline. So when his worried mother finally confronts him, it all comes pouring out. Through tears of pure exhaustion, he admits it's not even about the money anymore, or even the dream. It's about proving that he is enough, all on his own. He's at his absolute breaking point, totally exhausted, completely defeated. And it's right here, in this moment, that a single conversation with his mom gives him the unlocking key, a piece of wisdom that is about to change absolutely everything. What his mother says is so simple but so profound. She sees her son just destroying himself under the weight of his own pride, and then she gives him the words that change it all. Asking for help isn't weakness, David. It's smart. And that one piece of advice, it leads to this incredible transformation. So, in this final section, we get to see what happens when David finally understands the power of we. His mother's words just hit him right in the soul. And the very next day, he does something he has never, ever done before. He walks into the village square, swallows his pride, and he humbly asks his neighbors, yep, the same people who mocked him, for their help. And you know what's amazing? They don't laugh, they don't turn him away, they show up, the entire community rallies around this kid, and working side by side, they finish all 10 tables just in the nick of time. And the businessman? He was absolutely thrilled. And the results of that one act of collaboration are just game-changing. With that huge payment, David doesn't just survive, he thrives. He expands the shop, he buys brand new tools, and this is the best part. He hires other young guys from the village, sharing his success with the very community that made it happen. But here's the real takeaway. The money was great, sure. The new shop, awesome. But the biggest gain, the real prize, was the lesson that achieving your dream isn't just about how hard you work. It's about community. It's about having the strength to ask for help. And that brings it all back to you, doesn't it?
David's story is such a powerful reminder that true strength isn't measured by how much weight you can carry by yourself, but by having the wisdom to know when to share the load. So I'll leave you with this question. What weight are you still trying to carry all alone?